The WWE is great American entertainment. Lots of exciting storylines, including the battles of the billionaires when President Trump shaved the head of Vince McMahon. President Trump faced down Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is American culture at its peak. But of course, professional wrestling is in fact fake. And those who were professional wrestlers, like Jesse Ventura, called President Trump's assassination in Butler, the assassination attempt, fake as well. He did this on a recent interview with Piers Morgan. I thought it was kind of crazy. Jesse Ventura clearly been hit in the head with too many chairs, and so I decided not to cover. But now I have to cover it, and I'll explain why in 1 second. Here's what Jesse Ventura says.
When he goes, this guy, think he'd have the guts to do that? Are you kidding me?
Talking about the assassination.
Well, when he goes, this guy. Well, when he got shot, Jesse, to be fair to Trump. Wait a minute, Piers.
To be fair to Trump,
when he got shot, I'm going to tell you.
When he got shot, he got back up and said, fight.
Oh, yeah, right. You ever hear of a blade job? Anyway.
A blade? What, you think he was fake?
Anyway, I don't know. Where's his scar today?
Somebody died, literally, sitting behind him.
I don't know. You know, come on, Piers.
Okay, this is sort of the extent of the argument, is like, whatever, Donald Trump sucks, and so the assassination attempt in Butler was completely fake. The reason why we have to cover it today is because Marjorie Taylor Greene says she agrees. She agrees. Trump's MAGA nemesis, Marjorie Taylor Greene, joins a chorus of conspiracy theorists questioning whether the president's assassination attempt was fake or if something else happened, deserve to know the truth. I'm not calling the Butler assassination a hoax, but there are lots of questions that deserve public answers. I'm asking why Trump won't release the information about Matthew Crooks. Did he actually act alone? If not, who's behind him and who helped him? Why the cover-up? Says Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's doing numbers on this. 1.5 million views, nearly 5,000 reposts, 30,000 likes. So this follows a series of posts from Marjorie Taylor Greene about Corey Compertor and his family. Now let's continue. Extremely important post worth a read and consideration. Corey Compertor's family deserves to know the truth about Matthew Thomas Crooks and what happened at Butler on July 13th. President Trump, of all people, should be leading the charge. Why isn't he? That's the question. So one more post from MTG. I agree. Corey Compertor's wife and daughters deserve to know why Corey, a true American patriot, was a hero, was murdered in Butler. Trump said repeatedly, I am your retribution. Where's the retribution? Why is Larry Loomer covering up for Matthew Thomas Crooks and whoever else was behind it? Okay. And then there's Buckley Carlson. This is Tucker's brother here, talking about Larry Loomer. I guess, quote, tweeting Laura Loomer here. Buckley Carlson is joining MTG in pushing the deranged conspiracy theory that President Trump staged his assassination attempt in Butler. The woke right is very triggered this morning. Okay. Americans deserve an investigation. Why has Trump shut it down? Good starter questions. Okay. So I think that you have to separate this question into two. And the first question is, did Donald Trump hoax or fake his assassination attempt in Butler? The answer to that question is no. No. I went to Butler, Pennsylvania. I went in the days after President Trump was shot. I stood in the literal blood splatter of Matthew Thomas Crooks. I spoke with the FBI agents on site. I spoke with the Secret Service representative there. I spoke with local law enforcement there. It's all in this big documentary that we made about this exact moment. President Trump was, in fact, shot in the ear. Those bullets were real. They killed people standing behind Trump. But what was fake? Because there was something actually totally fake about this. President Trump's protection. The people who were supposed to secure this event, that was very fake. How fake was it exactly? It's so fake that you could literally watch Matthew Thomas Crooks, a bungling moron, wobbling around with an AR-15 on the rooftop as President Trump speaks. You can see it from the cell phone cameras. The police on site that day said, the Secret Service ditched us.
The snipers whenever they arrived, and that never happened. So I think that was probably a pivotal point where I started thinking things were wrong, because that never happened, and we had no communication with the Secret Service.
You had no communication with the Secret Service at all on that Saturday?
Not until after the shooting.
Ooh, yeah, and then after the shooting,
Did he have a weapon? Is he?
That was the report.
I thought you were on the roof. I thought it was you. I thought you guys were on the roof. Why were we not on the roof?
on the roof. I do think it was a setup. I do think there was something fake. It was a real bullet that hit Trump, and it was a real bullet that hit Corey Compertor, and he is dead now, and it hit two other members of the MAGA movement. They were hospitalized. Thankfully, they did not succumb to their injuries. What was fake was the security around President Trump, which was knowingly degraded to the point of malevolence, beyond incompetence, malevolence. They wanted Trump to die that day. And so this is, I think, something that frustrates a lot of people, because we have gotten no retribution for this at all. Barely anybody has been fired. I think that maybe some people were put on leave, and nobody was fired. The head of the Secret Service was allowed to retire with all these honors. Nobody's ever explained anything about Matthew Thomas Crooks, and I think that drives us nuts. Here's what I'll say about what we know is going on here. There is, I have from the highest possible government sources, absolutely more information about Matthew Thomas Crooks, who he is, what he was doing that day, and why he was doing it, who may have been helping him, and so on. There is that information. That information exists. It's real. There is like a full dossier with a lot of stuff that the public doesn't know. And it's not released. And it's not released because the president himself has not released it. That's what I've been told. And so either something inside of that dossier is so damaging, perhaps, or dangerous to the national security state or to American relations with other countries or whatever, or just so embarrassing for the Secret Service that Donald Trump has kept it close to the chest, because obviously he needs the Secret Service to stay alive. I mean, look at this. The embarrassment of all of this. How Matthew Thomas Crooks was just literally sitting on the rooftop. And the snipers clearly saw him. They clearly saw him. They clearly saw him. Look at that. They had him. They had a bead on him. He was sitting on the roof. They could have taken him out at any time. Not the only one asking questions about this, obviously. Rogan and Elon Musk asking questions about this. Like, who the hell is Thomas Crooks? Thomas Crooks was featured in a BlackRock commercial. His home was professionally scrubbed. There were no utensils in the house. Head of the Secret Service said they didn't have a sniper on the roof because it was too sloped. Like, what the hell was that about? Too sloped. Crooks had no footprint on the internet. Yeah, right. Secret Service knew he was there 30 minutes before the event with a rangefinder. They didn't do anything, and a drone. The reports that he traveled back and forth from D.C. a bunch. That's a matter of fact. You can track his phone. The whole thing is completely insane. I don't hear a damn thing about it, says Elon Musk. It's true. And there's a lot of people that think that. So what exactly did happen? I believe that it is appropriate to ask for the full release of the report. I believe as an absolute matter of fact and precedent that everything that we know about Thomas Crooks needs to be public. We haven't heard anything from his parents. We've heard absolutely nothing about what his online internet search history was. We know that it is voluminous and that it's been scrubbed. We know this. And we know the FBI lied about it. Tucker Carlson proved it in a investigation of this exact topic, this exact subject matter, where he uncovered Thomas Crooks's very violent and very radicalized anti-Trump threats on YouTube. So Tucker Carlson did a entire video on this and unearthed some of the many dangerous and concerning comments from Matthew Thomas Crook that shows that he was extremely politically radical and sought to kill members of the MAGA movement. I think that sounds like it's something critically important about the man's background, and that there were nefarious entities in his life that seemed to be pushing him towards radicalization. Never seen any of the guy's text messages. Never seen any of his internet search history. Never seen anything. He was on his phone right before he shot Trump. Who's he talking with? He's on his phone right there before he shot Trump. Who's he talking with? I think these are rational and reasonable questions to ask. I really do. I feel like if there's one thing that we should know the very most about, it should be who knew Thomas Crooks, who was training him, who was interacting with him. He was training at the same gun range as a number of feds. So what the hell is that about? Has anybody ever taken the time to explain that? So, I don't know, man. I am, just one of the many like non-passes, not like the move along, bro, nothing to see here. I don't buy it. I think there's far more to see here. I don't think that the assassination was fake, that Donald Trump cut his ear, right? That's what Jesse Ventura does. But I do think that there's so much more that is being kept from us. And I know that actually as a matter of absolute fact. So I hope we learn. I hope the federal government, just like everything else, is forced to tell us the truth. We'll see. I wonder why. I really wonder why. Don't know the answer to that. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.